All right, I'm going over on YouTube, see if I can find us.
See if we can find it. Yeah, it should be up now.
Do you go under live or just the home?
Yeah, live. I think live would be better.
I know, usually I get it to pop up. I don't see it.
There it goes. I think it's up now. Got it.
You've got it? All right, I saw
Yeah.
it. Maybe I'll go out and come back in.
Hey, go time. Hey, Charles. Thanks for coming by. Hey, Doc Ghost 84, Lisa Shade, Catfish Customs, Chantel Patiris, Doc Ghost 84. I love that. Cheryl, Fraser, Michael, Brenda, Jean, Imbendel. Blessings. Yeah.
It's so weird. I can't find it. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Yeah, try it again. Usually takes me a few times. I'm surprised I got it this fast.
I know.
Yeah.
There you are.
The Z phase. All right. Yeah, hopefully we could be a little more interactive. I mean, there is a lag time between the phone and the Zoom, so it takes like a minute to get there.
Okay, I'm on now. I just texted hi to everybody, so I'm in both places now.
Okay, great. So Danielle and I are just having a conversation mostly about ASEA, and Danielle introduced me to it, and it's I find it a very enlivening product, and we were thinking we would talk about, first of all, I don't know if anybody has had any experience with it. Since we do have a lot of people who have signed up, if anybody has any personal experiences, but I was going to kind of talk about the way it affects the light body. Like, there's certain things that the things that we expect to look for in a product are kind of like medically based, like cause and effect. But there's kind of a subtlety, I think, to ASEA that could go unnoticed. And so that's what I kind of wanted to bring out. And we were thinking also about talking about how it could help animals and plants as well, I guess. Since they're living beings. Yeah.
Everything living.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Have you shared with everybody? Like, you and I talked a little bit yesterday, just on the phone, and or 2 days ago. I don't remember when it was, but I was asking you just a little bit about what you'd noticed since you started the redox. And I think your experience kind of falls right into what we're going to talk about today. Have you told everybody what you've been kind of noticing?
Right. So the things that I'm noticing are just kind of like increased focus, an ability to keep, I work pretty much through the day, but, in the old days, I find myself kind of drifting off and not staying as focused. I feel like I'm more focused on what I need to do and keeping the channel going and all the different things involved with it. So it's kind of like strengthening in a that I'm able to concentrate better, I think. So I don't know if other people are having that experience, but it's not the kind of thing that would necessarily rate on a medical kind of scale. Like, when you take a medicine, the kinds of things you look for are different. I think these are more subtle. My sleep is good. But I feel in general I feel like I'm more productive and more focused to my task. So that, that's maybe something that I would definitely say is a change.
Yeah. I was saying to you yesterday, or when we spoke, like, something that I hear a lot of people say is like their sense of well-being goes up. And that's where the subtlety gets in, because when your physical body is in pretty good health, I think the redox is able to start working, like, we have different layers to us. We have the physical body, right? Which is what I spent all my school years studying. And, like we were talking about the scientific method, like I'm just so programmed to look at the body that way, understand research, understand how, things are impacting this physical body. But, we have an energy body, and, we have the mental body, we have all these bodies going out. And as I started to study yogic philosophy, I really started to learn about that. And it's so interesting because while ASEA doesn't have research on this, because it can be trickier to do research, I think, with that. It's a little bit more out there. But I have been able to see just through experience, it's been 8 years that I've watched people with this. I've been watching the research for that time. But interestingly, in like the last year or so, a lot of people started using the redox that were healthier. And I think someone like yourself and like me, I've been healthy now for years since using it. What happens is it can be super subtle. And it is like when you start working on those bodies of consciousness outside the physical body, and we start working on, say your energy body, like once the physical body is well, the redox can start moving outward, but it starts in the physical and it goes out. And I think those subtleties, like I think I said to you, I felt the world become crisp. Like it was as if I was seeing clearer, and my brain was like firing more rapidly. And it was just like the world around me, I was taking it in on a different level. And that's one of those subtle things. You can notice a difference in just the energy level, because you look at kids, Guru, they run around. We're talking about, I've got little nieces, and, they're like 1.5 and 3. And so they got so much energy. It's like ridiculous. But the truth is, like, that life force, that amount of energy is flowing to and through all of us. And it's just that, like, it gets, as we get older, it gets depleted in different ways. I think a lot of it gets depleted in the brain, worrying, thinking about things. And what I love is, like, when you take the redox, it's like you feel that life force. It's like it gets permission to kind of be alive again and be flowing through you. It's like all the gunk gets cleared out of the system. And so, it's able to just kind of bring you to life in a different way. And so you might find that, yeah, you're not having to take a nap. Like, you're not tired at the end of the day, but then when you go to sleep, you sleep really well. I was talking with a friend yesterday, and she said, my dreams are just so vivid. Since drinking the redox, it's just been like super exciting for me to go to sleep because of what happens while I'm sleeping. And I think, again, that's one of those subtle shifts. Like, well, what is that? Why is that happening? I wish we could have the research on it, but I'll tell you, the last year of watching a lot of these, let's say, people that are more spiritual, that are more in tune with things outside of the physical body, I've been hearing on repeat a lot of things that get me really excited, where people are saying, well, even Nirmala, Nirmala said to me, we all know how in tune she is. When she took her first 2 ounces of ASEA, she called me and she said, Danielle, do you know what this stuff does? I was like, from a biological standpoint, I said, from your level of consciousness, I have no idea. And she said, Danielle, it's shifted my cells from a carbon state to a crystalline state. She said, there's parts of the body, like, and when I look at somebody's light body, I can see these dark, like black spots, and it's very carbon based, very low energy. And she said, the water is coming in and literally just like you would pour water onto something, right? And it just clears it away. She said, it's going in and it's literally just shifting the cells into this crystalline state. And she said, do you realize that when you're in a crystalline state, that activates the crystals in the pineal gland? And so people's conscious level of awareness is going to open up. Their intuition is going to be deeper. And she got so excited. That was, on 2 ounces. And she was then the first of many of where I started to hear similar things from these people that, can tap into things that I can't. I wish I could, but at this point, I haven't honed that yet. But it's just beautiful for them to be able to see, what it's doing, and how, like Nirmala has always said to me, this works from the physical body out into, the light energy body. And it's really powerful how it's shifting that, and helping to literally shift the vibration that your cells are holding, which I think, leads to what I've always seen, which is like this sense of well-being that people have. This, like, people say they, like, if they call it the ASEA glow. And I don't know, I'd be interested in anybody, because I mean, Guru, so many of your audience has jumped on and been starting the redox. And I want to hear the stories, because I know the first like couple of months is when stuff starts to open up. So, you know, and people might even, their family members might be saying to them, what are you doing differently? Because there's just a glow that comes about you.
I'm seeing Darius Flip says, is our resurrection from carbon to crystalline body? I mean, I think that's what people are saying, that we're moving into a more of a crystalline structure.
Yeah, you know, these things are new to me. Like I said, I've been kind of exploring this space the last year, and the scientist in me is like, you know, kind of going a little nuts because I want to see more. But what people seem to say is like, that's the state that the body's going to be in as it ascends, like this crystalline structure. That's the new thing. That's where it's going to be. And it appears that the ASEA is helping people's body get there. Now, I have my own theories around this. I think your physical body has to heal first. I think that you've got to get this being at its optimum, you know, before you can take it anywhere. Like, you need to detox it of the things that are clogging the life force from not being able to flow, and, you know, that kind of thing. And one thing I love about the ASEA is how powerful it is at detoxing you. And because, you know, I should say this, it upregulates glutathione. Glutathione detoxes your system. So let me be clear on that. And to know that glutathione is upregulating, like, I'm just really excited, because, you know, we're inundated with stuff from our air and from the water and from our food. And, you know, I'm pretty conscious about what I eat, but sometimes you're traveling, you can't help it. Like, I have to get on a plane and, you know, I'm going somewhere tomorrow, and like, I'm just going to be exposed to things. And so I've had ASEA next to me today because I plan on drinking the whole bottle today to prep my body for tomorrow, you know, and when I get home, I'll do the same thing again, because I just know that it helps clear my system. Do
you drink it slowly when you take that much of it? Yeah.
Yeah. Kaleidoscope eyes. I'm currently swishing my last 2 ounces of ASEA.
For daily dose.
Yeah. I like this, guys, if you haven't seen, or you haven't gotten your ASEA yet, like a little 2-ounce cup comes with it. Do note that 2 ounces is like nearly the top. So make sure you're like getting the full amount. You're nearly like got a full cup. But what I've been doing is just throughout the day to day, like about every hour, I've just been pouring it, and I've just been swishing while I'm working. And then I also have this little guy over here. I don't know if we've talked about this, but this is something that I breathe in. So again, because tomorrow I'm going to be breathing in a lot of whatever, I'm just kind of getting my body ready. So I've been breathing it in throughout the day. And this is something you can just get on Amazon. They have nano misters. They're just as good. This, I think, maybe is a nebulizer, but basically what it's doing is it's just breaking apart the liquid into, you know, it's atomizing it so that it can be breathed in.
So you just put some ASEA in the container, and it mists it like with heat, or yeah?
No? Yeah, it's not hot. I don't actually know exactly how it does it, but I mean, it just goes through this little thing and it turns the liquid into the mist.
How cool. I love that.
It's really nice. And you can like put it in your eyes. So, you know, it's something that I carry with me, again, because like flying, sometimes your eyes get a little irritated or dry or something. So It's a really nice thing to just have around. And those nano misters, I mean, they're like $8 or something on Amazon.
Like I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Now,
yeah.
For the one I got, it seems to be working pretty well. It's been around for a while, and it was like $8.
Nice. Janice wants to know if people take it while doing chemotherapy or radiation.
That's a really good question. So redox doesn't contraindicate with anything, meaning it can't have an adverse reaction with something that you take. Most pills, like this is why usually your doctor will ask you what you're on, because medicines can contraindicate and cause a problem. So when you're doing chemo, typically doctors will say, don't do any supplementation, don't do anything else, because, you know, they want to make sure that you're okay. What I know is that redox, what's in this is already in your body. And so the chemo is already interacting with redox. And when you put this in, it won't cause any harmful impact. In fact, I encourage people, like if you're having to go through that treatment, that can wreak havoc on the rest of your body. So taking the redox through that can help the rest of your system stay strong, right? Because we know that this helps the body to detox and it helps the system to just repair and stay well. So it's something that it is safe to do. There's an FAQ document where you've got some of the members of the medical board answering, common questions that get asked. And that's probably the most common question is like, well, can I take it if I have a certain medication I'm using, or if I'm going through a certain treatment? It's totally fine. I will say your doctor, you can bring it into them. Some doctors will just outright say no, because they want to make sure that, you're under their care, right? And if they don't know what ASEA is, they might outright say no. Others will look at it and say, oh, it's just salt and water. Like, it's fine. You're wasting your money, but it's fine. And then you've got others that are educated on it already, and they know, and they say, yeah, absolutely. That's something that it's totally fine for you to take while you go through these treatments. So just know that sometimes you've got to be aware and educated. Doctors, they've been taught a certain thing, and they only have so much time in the day. They can't be up on everything. And so a lot of them just aren't aware of ASEA redox yet. I think more and more are becoming aware, but just know that when you go to ask.
But it's a bit outside of the medical model, which I think is what makes it so interesting. And that it's, we're so used to having like a substance, and it does that. You take a substance. This is not a substance. This is really something that's already in your body, like you said.
Yeah, think about it like, I think it was Jay at one time, like Jay's mind, he makes it so simple. I love it. He said, Danielle, the way I picture this stuff, I can't explain redox to anybody, but I picture it like you got a gas tank, and we're told that with redox, you get one gas tank per life. And he goes, so like I'm moving through life, I'm in my 50s, I'm halfway through, I got half a gas tank left. And all of a sudden, ASEA comes along, and now I'm filling up my gas tank again. And he said, like, that's how I look at this. It's like a new lease on life. So I can keep running like I did when I was young. And I was like, yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Yes, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I'm also amazed about the hair part. I mean, it's just, I never even thought that I would have hair up here. I mean, it's just coming in. It's every time I see it, I'm just amazed.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch. I watched the same thing with Jay, because I remember talking to him about the gel, and he was like, well, Danielle, that's just for the skin. And I was like, no, you're missing the point. I said, this stuff, I don't know if any of you guys got it when you got your liquid, but this stuff's twice as concentrated. And I love it because you tell it where to go. It's like when you drink it, the body decides. But with this, like you take it and you say, no, like I want to stimulate communication up here. And so that's what I told Jay to do. I said, start rubbing it on your head. And his hair started to grow back. So, same with you. And I'm watching it too. And I love it.
Yeah, it's really weird. I never expected that. Let's see. Why are you drinking an entire bottle a day instead of the 2 hours? Oh, that's just because you're prepping your body?
Yeah. So good question. Yeah. And that's just like, you guys definitely don't need to drink that much. The cool thing is there's no max amount. Like you can't overdose on this stuff. They tried to do a study on this. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but they tried to find an LD50. So like the amount, every drug has a lethal dose where it kills 50% of the, the mice that take it. And then they're told to titrate it down so that it's like an acceptable death rate to go into the human population. It's like weird to think about, but so they know what the level is that would kill you. And they couldn't find one with the ASEA. Like these mice they're just getting healthier because the body uses the redox, right? It does the electron transfer, and then it just reverts everything back into saline. And you're a sack of saline. So there's like, you can't take too much. At some point, you probably like, it's not going to like, your body doesn't need anymore, so like there's no reason to, but I'm drinking that much solely because I'm about to fly tomorrow and I'm about to be around hundreds of people. I'm going to a conference with Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden, and I'm going to be sharing the ASEA redox there. And I want to prep my body because it's about to be on and exposed to a lot. So I look at these as like little construction workers. They're like making sure everything's ready to go, and then, going to help me stay healthy when I'm there. But yeah, I usually drink 8 ounces a day. So drinking a bottle a day is not a normal thing for me. I will say, for those of you that have gotten it, you get loyalty points. And so like I got a case of ASEA for free with my loyalty points, which is a really, like they have a really nice program where when you get it monthly, they gift you things, and your first month, they gift you extra. So pay attention to your loyalty points, because a lot of you guys came in and you got great packages that have a lot of bonus points. So make sure that you understand how to get them and reach out if you need to figure out how. I have a video that explains it.
Great. Well, I'm not seeing any questions. Okay, so everybody seems to be pretty good with it. I don't know, we have 131 people. There are a lot of people. Activated pineal. Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing for me because, I want to have a spiritual contact. I want to be sensitive to things around me. So I definitely feel that I'm seeing things in a brighter way, let's say. I mean, I do tend to, I can see some, like, if I want to, I can see auras. So I would definitely say that it's my ability to see is bright. I'm seeing it in a stronger way. So, there is, so I do notice like specific things getting better, but it's very subtle. I mean, it was, but maybe it wasn't so subtle in the beginning. I think when I first started taking it, I definitely felt it, but I think I'm like on a little higher, like, just stronger. I mean, I think that the bottom line, like you say crisper, I would say stronger. I mean, I'm, at my age, I decided, like recently, maybe like a year or two ago, that it wasn't a bad thing to start working out. Like I always really liked being kind of like a, smallish kind of person. I didn't want to work out because I saw older guys with like flabby chests, and I said, I don't want to have that. But now I'm at the age that like, it really doesn't matter anymore. But I'm working out and I'm like, it's just, I'm strong,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Yeah, this is cleared by the Olympic Committee. So like there's Olympic athletes that use it. And the things that they say most commonly is that they repair faster after their workout, and like they're doing more within the workout. So they're lifting heavier or they're running further. And it's super interesting. A lot of the research at the beginning was done on athletes. So watching how it shifts the way that you're metabolizing. And so you're burning these fatty acids before the muscle glycogen. So that's why lactic acid isn't building up, and it's why you're able to go further. So pretty interesting, the athletic side to it. And yeah, I'm glad you're working out, because when you have, I hope you're lifting too, because the stronger your muscles, like the less pressure that puts on your joints as you get older, and your balance is going to stay better. And it's just one of those things. And I think it's like this positive snowball when you take the ASEA, because it makes you have the energy to want to go do things like work out, which is then going to make your system stronger, which is going to help you stay healthier. And it just, it's all going in the right direction. I'm seeing some things in the chat. So where did it go? Oh, Robin was asking, where do I get info on this? And somebody else was asking, how do I buy it? So, there's lots of videos out there with information. I should probably do just like a mini overview for those of you that don't have context for the redox. I'll take a minute to just explain it. Redox stands for reductant and oxidant, and they are the little molecules that every cell in your body uses to talk. And so like if you cut yourself and you have damage, there's an alert call that goes out. And when you were young, that alert call was very strong and very loud. But the body over time, as we age, it makes less of these signaling molecules. And so your body's call for help gets weaker. It's like, have a 1-bar service on your cell phone. And so the system doesn't know there's damage there. And that damage, then becomes something that you're dealing with all the time, right? It's chronic, or it's a mutated cell. And then that, goes crazy, and we know what happens. So what these guys figured out how to do is to stabilize the same molecules, these same reductants and oxidants, which scientists could do for a long time, but they couldn't keep them stable. Like they could make them, but guys, we're talking about like a positive and a negative right next to each other. Like they want to react, but they figured out how to stabilize them and keep them in this structure so that they don't react until they hit anything organic. So don't put it in metal, because then, interacting with the metal, but as soon as you put it in your mouth, you swish it around, it goes into your body and it starts signaling in your body. So it's just alerting your system where you might have damage. Now, there might be things you're consciously aware of, that it's going to go to, or you can, rub the gel on and tell it where to go. Like if you have discomfort in your shoulder, like rub it there, and usually 3 times of rubbing it within 5 minutes, it feels pretty good. But it just is going to help your system to signal and help the body then to repair itself. So it's this natural way to help your system get its balance back. I ran into this because I had been in a really severe car accident and had a brain injury, and my body wasn't healing. Doctors actually told me it was my new normal. And an acupuncturist suggested this. So you guys are hearing about it through Guru. I heard about it through an acupuncturist, and it just blew my mind once I realized the power of this and the potential, so it took 3 months for me to notice anything. So it might not be quick for you. I would tell you, be patient, get on this for at least 3 months. It's something now I stayed on obviously for 8 years because of how I feel when I take it. And I just, I don't ever want to lose my health again. If you're interested in getting it, you have Jay's information under here? Or?
Yeah. In the show more under my video, it says show more. You just click that and you can call Jay or leave your number and he'll get back to you. You can ask Jay about it. That's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Kaleidoscope Eyes, you're amazing. So they just put the link in there. You can also go to that link and there's a contact button on Guru's link. And if you put your contact info in, your name and phone number, Jay can also then reach out. We like that you talk to Jay because this is not something, it's not like you're going and buying lipstick. Like we want to talk to you about, look, how much do you need? What's your situation? What's your family's situation? To make sure you get the right amount. And there's different like account types, and we want to make sure you get the best deal. So like I was telling you about the loyalty points, I want to make sure you guys are getting all the free stuff that the company is giving you. So I want to make sure you're educated on that, which that's what Jay does, and he'll get you set up properly so you can get, the best deal and the right amount, and, kind of get any questions you have. We're also really blessed. There's several doctors that we work with. I think Dr. Silverman's been on here before.
Yeah.
He does calls throughout the week where he just answers questions. So if you want that information, we're happy to get it to you. So like Saturday mornings, he gets on and he just does a Q&A. So any questions you have, he'll feel free to answer all of them. He'll share resources, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and Jay, also, I think if you go straight to the website and you order on the website, you won't get as good a deal as if, like, Jay can walk you through it so that you get, I think there's like a custom deal or some kind of...
Yeah, you can get like different bundle deals and things like that are only available the first time you order. So it's one of these things that like people get upset when they missed out on it. So I know it's weird these days to talk to somebody before you order something, but trust us, like it's like an educational thing. It's not a hard push or sell. It's literally, we just want to make sure you understand the account types and you get the right one. All right. I'm just looking at the chat. Oh, thanks for the compliment on my hair. Appreciate it.
Do you rub the ASEA in your hair also?
I don't. I feel like it would get all sticky and crazy because my hair is too long. But I spray the liquid and I have this thing going, so it gets my roots. And I get little baby hairs that are like always growing around here. And honestly, my hair grows so fast. So do my nails. Like my nails, they just shoot up. I cut them and my nails used to always they'd crack or they'd break or they'd be like very flimsy. They are, you can't tell because I'm on video, but they are so solid. Like they feel like a fake nail. And it's because of the redox. And I know there's a lot of like in some Eastern medicines, like that's what they look at. They look at your nails to understand the health of your body. And I don't fully understand why. But all I know is that like my health must be very strong because my nails are super strong since the redox. Like this is 100% because of that. And my hair grows a lot, which is kind of a problem because I live in the middle of nowhere. No one cutting hair around me. So I have to go find some. That's why my hair is getting longer. So thank you for the compliment. Maybe we'll let it get even longer. Let's see.
Eye drops cure glaucoma. I guess the This spray would be good for the eyes. I don't think they have eye drops.
Yeah, so I've got all this stuff around me today. It's funny, it's because I'm getting ready for my trip. So I bought one of these again just off Amazon, and I took the liquid from here and I put it in here. Couple things. This can't be in direct UV light, so just be conscious of that. And if you take it out of the bottle it comes in and you put it in something like this, just keep that amount for like a week and then put in a new amount. Because it starts to like degrade. It's in a very high quality plastic because these molecules are super reactive. So if you put it in any other sort of container, just cycle it out in a week. And then, yeah, I take it, and every morning I drop it in my eyes. And it's really nice. I've had all sorts of fun stories come through with people with eyes issues, from like pressure to dryness, redness, their like ability to see, like Debbie Wexler. Has Debbie come on here?
No.
Well, you've got to meet Debbie. She's the one that shared it with Dr. Silverman. She was at like the launch of the company. She knows the founders. She's seen amazing things. She doesn't wear glasses anymore. And so she's constantly putting this in her eyes, but
really,
yeah, for me, I obviously still wear glasses. My prescription used to get worse every year. You know, I'd go in and it was like, uh-oh, gotta update. I've had the same prescription now for 8 years. So, you know, again, it's like, we'll never know what we prevent sometimes, but I'm like, that's gotta be this because I was going down and, you know, I'm only getting older. I don't know why they would stop. So, yeah, that's been an interesting experience for me.
they were thinking about eye drops, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Eye drops it's like a really nice thing to do. Again, just like rotate it. So at the end of the week, if there's anything left, just drink what's left in there and then just add in more. But yeah, people get super creative with this stuff. It can go anywhere, you know? So I've had people do all sorts of things with it. I had one woman that, she had a hearing aid and it was really irritating. So she was asking if she could put the gel in her ear. And I thought that would get a little like yuck, putting gel in your ear. So I said, why don't you just put the liquid and just kind of hold it in there and then, lift your head after a little while. She started doing that. And 2 months into it, her husband called me. He said, Danielle, you're not going to believe this. And I said, what happened? And he said, she was in the shower and she started talking to me and could hear my response. And her hearing aid was sitting on the counter next to me. And they like couldn't believe it. They put the hearing aid and she turned it down 80%. This was just like 2 months. In my wildest dreams, I never would have expected anything like that. I just thought it'll help her with the irritation, And I was like, holy cow, like, what do we have our hands on? Like, it's just like, it's like wild things like this. Yeah.
She just put a couple of drops in her ear every.
She was kind of putting like, what I instructed her to do was to like take a capful, so like a cap, and just tilt her head sideways and put it in and just let it sit there for like a couple minutes. And then just, with like a towel or something, just put it that way to let it come back out. And that was 2 months of that. And literally we were just doing it because the hearing aid was causing such irritation. When you have something on the same spot on your skin, like it gets a little red and irritated. That's what was happening in her ear. And she had seen me talk about how the gel is really good on irritated skin. And I was like, I just don't think you should put the gel in your ear. That feels like it won't go well. so that's, we put the liquid, and it was amazing. I'll never forget that phone call. I've gotten a lot of phone calls over the years. And you'll start to get them too. I can't wait until we start getting them in the chat when we're talking, because they're coming. It takes a little bit of time. A lot of times this is not like a ding, overnight. But it's happening. So if anybody's listening and you've got your ASEA, I'd love to hear if you're experiencing anything, because this is why I do what I do, is to get it to you guys and just kind of watch this continue to share.
And it's, all the information is in the show more. You can, it's right. I think it's the first thing listed on the show more is, again, call Jay. It's best to call Jay. But Cheryl wants to know if it makes a difference with cancer. I think it can't hurt, right? I mean.
Yeah. So this is the number one thing. It can't hurt. and it might help. That's what Dr. Silverman always says. But what we know, right, is that it will help the body find damaged cells, find mutated cells, and help the body identify that and either repair or kill it and get rid of it. And so, you think about what you're asking about. I mean, when I first started learning about this, I was curious about every disease. And I just want to be clear with you guys, we can't do like a specific study on cancer. We can't do a specific study on Parkinson's. We're just, because it's not a drug, we're like not allowed to, because then we'd be making a drug claim. And then that's a whole other thing. And they made a very, I think, strategic decision at the beginning to not go down, the drug route, because this touches so much. It would be so silly to spend millions and millions of dollars, to play one key on the piano. Whereas we know this touches so many keys because everything is cellular. And so if we can get all the cells in your body doing what they're supposed to do, you're going to be, doing really well. So that's why it's classified as a cell signaling supplement. And it's in the supplement. Sorry, that just blinded everybody. But it's why it's in the supplement category now. And so there are structure function studies. And then there's lots of testimonials. So whoever asked that, Cheryl, was it you, Cheryl? Yeah. If you want to hear some of those testimonials, just reach out and I'll make sure that those testimonials get to you. If you text Jay, he has access to the testimonials. And if he doesn't, he will ask me and I'll get them to you. But I'm pretty sure Jay has them. And let's see, the other question on here. So nothing neurological. Well, my issues were neurological. I had brain trauma, and it's pretty interesting. We didn't have the gel back then. We had the liquid, but the gel you can put on the vagus nerve, which it's like the wanderer. It's the nerve that goes all over. And that we see some amazing things just by putting it here. It can help people feel more alert. It can get into the system and just start like literally like you feel relief where you've got some discomfort. It's wild. And that's because, it's going here, it's going throughout the body. And knowing what I know now, I would have put it, on the base of my skull. I would have put it around my head, but we didn't have it back then. I just took the liquid. But everything is cellular. So every system of the body is made up of different organs that are made up of tissues that are made up of cells. And those cells, it doesn't matter if it's a cell connected with the nervous system or the endocrine system or the muscular system, it doesn't matter. They all talk with redox molecules. So when this goes in, it's non-specific. It's not that it just goes for heart cells or just goes to lung cells. It goes to any cell that has damage. And so therefore it will impact whichever tissue, organ, and system of the body where that damage is. So.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that I did have a weird pain in my foot, and it's gone. I mean, I didn't know what to do about it because it wasn't like one specific thing. It was just a pain like in the ball of my foot, but it's pretty much gone now. I mean, I feel it a tiny little bit, but I kind of was hoping that ASEA would deal with that, and it seemed to.
Are you putting this on your foot, or is that just?
I'm not. For some reason, I want to put it on my hair. I put it on my head all the time, but I don't put it on my foot. But it seems to be it seems to be healing up.
Nice. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like the body has its own checklist, right? And it goes through things in time. And with the liquid, you just patiently wait for it to get to everything. But if you want to speed up your foot, I would put the gel on your foot.
Yeah, I should.
I'm seeing psoriasis, eczema. Yeah, so that's a question about stuff on the skin. Again, the research on this is for skin cell turnover. It's for wrinkles. It's for cellulite. It's for cosmetic things. So again, I can't make like a claim that it's going to do anything specific for those issues, but those issues are cellular. So when you can put this locally on top of anything on the skin, you've got redness and irritation, put it on there. There's no max amount, so you can't overdo. I would just put it on clean skin. If you're having to put something else on it, I would put the Renew 28 first. I'd put the Redox on first, and then I'd wait 5 minutes and I'd put whatever else on top. Typically it will amplify the impact of whatever else you're doing, right? It's like the construction workers going in there and then you're giving them better materials. So just monitor. Sometimes things can get worse before they get better because the body is like literally drawing it out. So don't be alarmed. It's not because you're allergic to it or it's causing a problem. It's usually like part of the detox process. The skin is our largest organ, and it's how we can detox a lot out. So don't be alarmed. And yeah, I've seen some pictures. Again, message Jay, and he can get you some of these photos of things that we've seen. It's like, it's pretty remarkable. And for yourselves, guys, take pictures now. Like, I don't know, Guru, if you took a picture of your head, but you should, because then we can document. I guess
I have old videos, and
we can come back to the video. All right. Let's see. Does
genetic and they're talking about DNA healing? I mean,
yeah, this is kind of interesting. So here in the US, on the back of the bottle, there's a study that's a genetic study. And this one was really cool. This looked at, it was the same lab that does, what's that, Ancestry.com? The same lab that does that genetic work. They did this genetic research, and Tourette Labs, I think it's called. And they found that, yeah, it gets down to the point where it's activating different genes. And so it's impacting like our body's genetic expression gets manipulated by our environment. Stress, toxins, aging can shut off certain genes, or it can cause, when you have the right environment that's stressful, it can cause certain things to be turned on that shouldn't be, that, then cause issues. They say you're predisposed. So your genes are not your destiny, right? I think everybody on here probably is aware of that. At this point, we have learned and we know that your environment impacts your genes. And when you take the ASEA, it turns back on your genes that have been switched off. It activates what's meant to be activated. It gets things regulated. And it's pretty cool. Like the back of the bottle it's listing like the genes that it looked at. But one of them is known and mapped to help with immune function, which is why I'm drinking more of it before I'm going and being around all these, because I want that to be strong. Your inflammatory response, it's known and researched to turn on the gene that helps to regulate the inflammation in the body. Cardiovascular health and arterial elasticity, which is amazing for a lot of reasons. Gut health and digestive enzyme production. And then the last one is hormone modulation. So there's quite a few things that it's researched to touch. And, they were the first to say in that study, look, we really looked at genes that were already mapped that we knew a lot about. So, who's to say it's not touching other ones? We just know these ones because that's what the study was done on.
I have a really good question. I mean, that was asked by Timo Theos, that how does it affect teeth? I mean, because we swish it around all the time. Is there any evidence of changing teeth?
There's a lot of dentists that use redox, and I'm fortunate enough to work with one here in Florida. And when she was learning about it, I got to kind of be on the fly on the wall as she was talking to these other dentists. And what she really likes about it is she's seeing the gum health get better in a lot of people, right? So you can see like the gums are fresher. They're not like bleeding as quickly, like they're just healthier. She has seen it touch things that like other medications haven't been able to. When she pulls a tooth, usually she said, I have to give somebody like a prescription for the pain. And she said, now she's just giving them this to rub. And then she's giving them a pouch of the ASEA to like hold over it. And she's been amazed. She said, when they do that, the bleeding seems to stop. And I could relate to that because I've cut myself before. And, I don't want anyone to go do this, but like next time you're in the kitchen and you accidentally nick yourself, go grab your cup of ASEA, like go grab this and fill it up and stick your finger in it. And you'll see, I still have the video on my phone. Like the blood just goes straight to the bottom. Like typically if you got your bleeding and you put it in, if you just put it in water, it would dissipate. No, the blood pools at the bottom, and then you can like watch the repair start to happen. And, you pull it out 20 minutes later and it, the thing looks like it happened a couple of days ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
cool stuff.
Yeah. Again, I'm not telling anybody to go do that. I'm just saying if it happens, I was hearing that for years. And then I got like a new knife set at my old apartment and sure enough. And I got super excited. I was like, oh, finally get to see.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep any more of your time. I know you're planning to travel. So we should probably wrap it up. Any other burning questions before Danielle goes?
I'm seeing somebody ask about detox. The detox is related to glutathione. So the research showed that it upregulated by 800%. Glutathione did, because this turns on the NRF2 pathway. All right, that is literally what helps with antioxidant production, and your glutathione has to be reduced. It needs an electron in order to start working, and that's what reductants do. And so that gets upregulated, and glutathione is a master detoxifier, and it's a master at dealing with inflammation. And so when I was speaking to that earlier, it was really speaking to what the impact of glutathione is in the body and how profoundly this impacts, the expression of the glutathione.
Cool.
It is.
Well, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, if you have any more questions, check in the show more below the video, and you can please feel free to call Jay. He's just, he'll get back to you, to leave your phone number, and you can discuss, and he can help you. If you do order it, he'll help you get a better deal and this kind of thing. So it's always good to talk to him, and just, if you have any questions, you could ask him.
Nice. Okay, one last question, God's girl. You take it it's a liquid you drink. And so you drink 2 ounces in the morning, 2 ounces at night. I know some people take other products that turn on the NRF2 pathway. I have found that this touches that and so many other things. You might find that you don't need the one that's just focused on that, because this does that and more, because it's working upstream from just that pathway. So definitely, I would say, guys, reach out, talk to Jay. We'll get you more info.
I think it's pretty easy to drink. Yeah. It's, some people don't like the taste. I don't need to bother.
It tastes a little bit like cool water.
Yeah, taste don't bother me at this point, but
not terrible.
But yeah, everything's in the show more below, and call Jay. Jay's the man.
Yeah.
So
well, thanks for having me on. And guys, it was awesome to be with you all. Thanks for all the questions and the chatting. It's really nice to have the energy exchange with you.
Yeah, it was good. This is the first time we really had like a response back. It was very nice.
Yeah, I think it'll happen more and more, because I'm watching so many people, trying this through you. And I know the stories are coming. I've been in this long enough. There's always a little bit of a lag time, but soon that chat's going to be full of stories, and I can't wait until that happens.
Cool. All right. So you get used to the taste. Yeah. It's not bad. Yeah, I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it, actually, but I might be a little weird. But all right. So thanks, Danielle, and have a great trip. And I hope you stay healthy. And I really appreciate your time and coming to hang out with the KABBALAH Guru family. And all right. Well,